on. At this time, I'd ask you to be so kind as to please stand and salute the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Be advised that proper notice has been given by the Township Council in accordance with the Sunshine Law in the following manner. Notice advertised in the Burlington County Times and Camden Courier Post on January 11, 2017, and posted on the bulletin board on the same date. Mr. Burrell?
Here.
Mrs. Brody? Mr. Schwartz?
Here.
Mr. O'Connell?
Here.
Mr. Ketchum?
Here. So first we have some housekeeping to take care of. First is the approval of minutes for the work session meeting on April 11th, 2017. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Schwartz?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Mr. Ketchum?
Aye. And the approval of minutes for the executive session on April 11th as well. Need a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Schwartz?
Abstain.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Mr. Ketchum?
Aye. Now we have ordinances on second reading, and we will have a public hearing on this, as are all ordinances on second reading. So this is ordinance 2017-04. This is a bond ordinance amending and supplementing the bond ordinance number 2014-15, finally adopted by the Township Council and on November 11, 2014. This provides for various improvements and upgrades to the township's sewer utility system to increase the appropriation by $450,000 and to increase the authorization of bonds or notes herein by that same amount. Any motion to go into public?
Motion to open public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. At this time, I would ask anyone who has a question about this ordinance and this ordinance only to step forward, state your name and address for the record, and have any question or comment. Seeing no hands, I'll ask for a motion to come out of public.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are back in our regular meeting, and I need a motion to approve ordinance 2017-04.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Schwartz?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Mr. Ketchum?
Aye. Next is ordinance 2017-05, and this is amending Chapter 389 of the Township Code entitled Animals and Poultry. And this too requires a public hearing, as it's our second reading of this ordinance. And this is for the pilot program to have the option to have pet chickens. So I'll ask for a motion to go back out into public for this ordinance, 2017-05.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And we're back in public session. Welcome. How are you, everybody? We're back in our public area. So we'd have any questions, step forward if you would, and state your name and address for the record, as I'd like to tell you that, Deb.
My name is Deborah Hammond. I live at 230 Paddock Way. I'm a member of the Delran Township Municipal Green Team, which was appointed by council to foster lifestyle changes designed to minimize environmental damage while protecting and maintaining our natural resources. The Green Team tries to raise awareness and identify actions designed to make Delran a better place where people want to live, work, and play. Last summer, Sylvia contacted Councilwoman Colodi and attended council work session to see about getting chickens at her home. The Green Team saw this as an opportunity to promote sustainability and began collecting names of residents that would be interested in backyard chickens. These are residents that really care about the food they feed their families and the environment. This group of residents, and a lot of them are here today, that want chickens, put together recommendations for a pilot program, which is the basis of the proposed amendments to our existing ordinance. Delran Township has long farming roots. We believe that the pilot program proposed in this ordinance will prove to the community that chickens can exist in the suburbs without creating a nuisance, Residents will be reducing their impact on the environment by feeding their vegetable scraps to their chickens, using chickens to keep down insects, and composting chicken waste for their use. The group would like to thank Patty Colodi for her assistance in bringing our proposal to council. We encourage council to vote yes on the amendments and look forward to a successful pilot program. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. And Councilwoman Colodi was very disappointed that she couldn't be here. She's actually in California on a family vacation that was planned long before this. Are there any additional comments? Yes.
Phaedra Schwartz, 501 Brown Street. I just had a question with regards to the ordinance, because I think it's a great thing, keeping the chickens in the backyard. But I did know that the Department of Agriculture, as well as the Department of Health, that at one time you had to register the location of the property where chickens are being held. And in the case where chickens' health or deaths of chickens, that has to be reported to the Department of Health also, because they're the ones that come out to the property to determine if the chicken was sick, how it died, so that there's not something that is transmitted to human beings. And I was wondering if that was actually in the ordinance, and how people are supposed to register with the Department of Agriculture and the Department of Health.
Well, we do have a chicken advisory board, and all of the registrations and regulations will be handled through them. I don't know, our attorney is here. Is there any?
There's not a specific mention of it in the ordinance, but I would recommend anyone applying for one of the licenses to contact the State Department of Agriculture to make sure they're in compliance with all state regulations that the township wouldn't necessarily be involved in.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure the chicken advisory board will duly note that.
Yes. Hi, my name is Beth Thompson Morehouse, 265 Tarrington Court. I'm a licensed veterinarian and I'm part of the Chicken Advisory Board. And she brings up a very good point that there are reportable diseases. There are some that are incurable. There is Marek's disease, there is avian influenza, which is not transmittable to humans except in limited cases. They've had some cases in Thailand, in East Asia, with the big markets with all the ducks and stuff. The really bad influenza that we worry about here has to transfer through pigs, and either humans, pigs to chickens, or chickens, pigs to humans. So the big concern for me as a veterinarian, and the big concern for the veterinarians as far as the State Department goes, and the State Agricultural, is affecting the agricultural community. So if we were a county like Lancaster that had a lot of laying eggs or broiler hens, then I don't know if I would even be for this ordinance. But right now, you have to keep your chickens very limited. You really have to, the advisory board, we have very strict rules about sanitation. You don't go visit other people's chickens. I just don't think it's going to be a problem. And any death that you have, respiratory, has to be reported to the state, and we're well aware of it.
So glad you're on the advisory board. Anyone else have any questions or comments? Yes, sir. This is all about this ordinance only.
All right, then I'll wait.
Okay. Seeing no other hands, I'll ask for a motion to come out of public.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're back in our regular meeting. And I need a motion to approve the amendment of Chapter 389 of the Township Code entitled Animals and Poultry.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Schwartz?
No.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Mr. Ketchum?
Aye. Congratulations. Next is an ordinance on first reading, and this is ordinance 2017-06. It's a bond ordinance providing for the installation of sidewalks on Route 130 in and by the township, and it is appropriating $220,000 and authorizing the issuance of $41,900 in bonds and notes to finance part of the cost thereof. This is an ordinance on first reading. I have a motion to approve.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Schwartz?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Mr. Ketchum?
Aye. Next, we have our resolutions. This evening, we start with Resolution 2017-91. This is authorizing the disposal of various equipment from the Delran Township Sewer Department.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Schwartz?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. Resolution 2017-92 is transferring tax payment made in error to sewer account for Block 118.19, Lot 35.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Schwartz?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. Next is Resolution 2017-93. This is a resolution authorizing the township to execute an agreement with Burlington County for the cooperative participation in the Community Development Act of 1974.
Motion approved. Second.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Schwartz?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. Next is Resolution 2017-94, extending the grace period for the first quarter of 2017 for sewer bills to May 30th.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Schwartz?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. Now we have motions. I need a motion authorizing the payment of bills, including all purchases made under the cooperative purchasing agreement.
Second.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Schwartz?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. I need a motion accepting the report of the tax collector, CFO, and township clerk.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Schwartz?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. I need a motion granting a mercantile license to the following two businesses. That would be S&Y Auto Sales, 209-5 Carriage Lane, and Zonati Transblock USA Corporation, 1810 Underwood Boulevard.
Motion to approve. Second.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mr. Schwartz?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattrick?
Aye. Next, we have our reports from various folks from within the township and various organizations, and as well as council and the mayor. So let's start with our township clerk, Jamie Yeager. Jamie, anything this evening?
I just want to report that the next blood drive is scheduled for Tuesday, May 9th, here at the municipal building from 1:30 to 6:30. We still have about 8 openings, so we're getting close to our goal of 40 participants. So if anyone's interested, they can register online or in the clerk's office.
Thank you. And from our township administrator, Jeff Hatcher. Jeff, anything this evening?
No report this evening.
From our solicitor's office, Tim, representing Longmore Mayor. Anything, Tim?
No report tonight.
And as is our custom, we have reports from our fire district and our fire commission. And this is representing that commission is Commissioner Jim Bow.
Thank you, Mr. President, Council, Mayor, staff. We're always busy, but unlike last month, I think it's exciting. I'm sure you saw the one truck fire that we did have, which was a landscaper's truck, a tree trimming truck. The cause of that was the power steering line came off and sprayed hydraulic fluid all over the engine, and as he was driving, it was just, it really got it going pretty good, and because it is hydraulic fluid, it was quite hot. The kind of weird thing about the call, he did stop underneath the wires in a transformer. So Chief Cunningham was a little concerned and notified public service for them to come out and inspect their property in case it did do damage to it. And obviously the news all keeps track of what Central puts out, and everybody has iron responding, all news people. So they kind of put the truck fire and the fact that the chief was calling public service to check their transformer, that several of the TV came out with their helicopter shots saying that the tree trimmer hit the high tension wire with his truck, and then that's what caused the fire. So you know, at this day and age, you don't have it out in 30 seconds online or on your news, your old news. They kind of just put their own facts together. That's all we had, sir. We did have 2 vacant buildings in Williamsboro that we assisted Williamsboro Fire Department on. Obviously, because they were vacant and it was the middle of the night, it was well involved before anybody saw it. So it was surrounded, drowned, stay outside, nobody went inside. It was so far gone. That's all I got, sir.
Great, thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
And now, our first ever report from the Green Team. Representing the Green Team is Al Carr.
Thank you for having us. First off, we're going to expand our community forestry program, which is the location of our ash trees, the condition of our ash trees. We're going to look for the evidence of the emerald ash borer, bug that's infecting our trees, and the possible remedies that we can alert the public to. We also have a wildflower garden expansion on May 10th. We're going to plant that. We're in the works of trying to start a community garden, which will be months from now, hopefully. We have an anti-idling campaign. Bill Kersey, our chair, has contacted the Board of Education. They're going to send out letters with the children to take home for their parents, so that when they drop their kids off from school, they don't sit there and idle for 15, 20 minutes. We're going to start our Conserving Water campaign in the summer. We're working with the Backyard Hen program. We're going to have some spring workshops where we're going to have water barrel making, cut it and leave it, cut your lawn and using mulching blades instead of raking up your lawn clipping and sticking them in for the trash people to take away. Backyard composting and proper mulching techniques. We're going to have a STEM fair, and we'll have a table there at the school, the middle school, on May 8th. We'll have an emerald ash borer demonstration, and the idling table, and a solar-powered car, or a electric car for our solar panel demonstration. We're going to be working with the Girl Scouts on their forestry badge project, and we just completed the Del Rey cleanup day on Range Road. And that's what we're doing.
Wow. Al, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I'd just like to reiterate, the whole thing with lawn clipping, that it costs money
Right.
to the township and ultimately to all the residents. To put anything you put in the trash that's weight certainly adds to what we pay to the dump, and those tipping fees go up.
We can just get people to use mulching blades. It'd be great.
It's a great idea.
And to compost their kitchen scraps.
Thank you, Al. Thanks for that report.
Thank you.
And next we have reports from our members of council, starting my far right, representing Ward 1 is Mike Schwartz. Councilman?
I have no report, Mr. President.
And representing our at-large councilman, Tyler Burrell. Tyler, you have anything for us this evening?
Yeah, just real quick, I wanted to say that a couple of us attended the Historical Society burial of the time capsule. It was a fantastic little event, and hopefully I'll be around, was it 60 years, to see it come out of the ground. And, right?
That's not right. 63.
And, you know, I spoke to Patty, and she can't be here with us, but as Mr. President said, she's very happy that the chickens are now in place, the chicken program. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Tyler. And next, representing Ward 2, Dan O'Connell. Dan, anything for us this evening?
Yeah, just a couple of things. I'd like to thank the Historical Society for bringing the time capsule issue to the attention of us, because none of us here in the front were in government at the time and didn't realize that when the capsule was taken out of where the old municipal building was, it was never reburied. So Saturday we put it back, and it's out here in the front to the right. Last time I looked, there was a barrier up there to just make sure nobody injured themselves, but we've talked about trying to do something to perhaps put some flowers or something around the marker to make it more visible to the residents of the town. But we appreciate the Historical Society bringing it to our attention, and it was a very nice little ceremony on Saturday. I'd like to thank a resident of Ward 2 who's sitting in the third row here, Sylvia, along with our colleague Patty Collodi, for Sylvia for bringing the chicken issue to us. And then after Sylvia left, we all kind of looked at one another and said, what are we doing? And then our colleague Patty, by meeting with Sylvia and getting educated herself and then bringing it back to us, made us aware of the environmental positives of something like this. And I know Patty really enjoyed going over to Sylvia's home and seeing the things that she's done there. I think you've made a new friend, Sylvia. But I wanted to thank both the resident and our colleague. And then finally, on Saturday night, several of us attended a fundraiser for the Jake's Place playground. And the event was sold out, and it's just one more step to hopefully us securing the funds so that one of these days we're going to open a park so that disabled children can play just like the rest of the young people in our town. And that's it, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dan. And for my report, just a couple of things. Most of them are echoing on prior reports, but I wanted to also mention that the Historical Society, in their effort to raise money, and I am going to do a commercial, but I think I'm allowed to do that, is selling these wonderfully attractive tickets for $5 for a sandwich from the Vid's Deli. They're a great thing. You can keep them until July 31st. You buy a couple of these, you walk in, you get your sandwich, and the Historical Society gets a little piece of the action, as they say. The other thing is I'd like to thank Jeff and actually the folks from PSC&G. We had a light pole that was leaning at a pretty precarious angle that I thought for sure was going to go down on somebody's car, and they were out. Jeff, I don't know how, you must have reported it quickly because they were out in a day and replaced that pole. And I want to remind folks that the electricity for those we pay for in the township. So if you see what they call a day burner, which is a light that never shuts off, absolutely you can report it. Give Jeff a call or send him an email and let him know that. Or if there's a street light out, we do kind of have a direct connection to PSC&G. Or if you see a pole issue where it's leaning or crooked, the best thing to do is either with your phone take a picture of that number, the tag that's on the pole, and report that to Jeff, and he'll take care of that. That's what I did. I can never remember, so I just took a picture and reminded him. One of the great, I mean, these are the unexpected benefits of some of the organizations that are in town. The Historical Society, reminding us about the time capsule and doing what they do. The Green Team doing what you're doing, and the laundry list of projects you have in place. It's just one of the benefits of having you. We're so happy that you're here with us, and it's just one of those things that you can be proud to be a Delran resident, and I thank you for all the work that you're doing. So that concludes my report, and now our remarks from the mayor, Ken Paris. Ken?
Yeah, I'm going to be going over probably 3 of the things that we already discussed, but on that note with the teams, as far as the Green Team and the Historic Society and stuff, everybody's got to realize these are all volunteers. That's the big thing about the people that are on these teams, and they work really hard and they care about the town very much. So you got to give them a lot of credit. Every time you see them, you should thank them, because a lot of them, like I said, they have no other involvement than just that they care about the community doing the right thing. Same with our RAC. We have great people on the RAC. Some of them don't even have kids in the program. They are actively involved with Easter egg hunts, Christmas with Santa, all different things like that. So a lot of people volunteer and are involved in the town doing a lot of good things. So when you see them and you actually acknowledge the different teams, make sure you say thank you, because these are people that are actually dedicating their time because they care about the community. I do want to talk about a couple things. One is the Historic Society. Again, all volunteers. I want to thank Mal Anderson, and I also want to thank Renee Brizzi from the Historic Society, as well as all the members. But those two really went above and beyond to pull that together. The whole idea of the time capsule, just to give you a little bit of history, it was first put in place back in 1980. It was the 100th anniversary of Delran. So what they did was they did this 100th anniversary time capsule. They also had a couple other different committees formed. They had a Delran beauty contest type committee. They had a parade committee. So they did a lot of things back in the 1980s. Then what happened is it was buried at the TD Bank, which was the original municipal building location. when the municipal building got moved from the TD Bank to Chester Avenue here, it got dug up and it was put in our building. And these, the Historic Society members actually, found out about it, and they put this whole ceremony together, and they did a great job. So I just want to thank them. I want to thank Jerry DeSanto, our Public Works Supervisor. I want to thank Jeff Hatcher. These guys also all contributed in getting it to happen there, and it will be buried tomorrow. I think they just wanted to put one more thing in it. But like I said, and in that time capsule, by the way, it's a lot of different memorabilia back from the 1980. Even the person who won the contest, the person's poem is in there. So it's a lot of interesting facts about it. Also, I want to thank the Jake's Place people. Great fundraiser. We were all there, most of us, attending the fundraiser. It was very, like I said, it was sold out, 300 and some people. The other good things about it is they had really nice contributions. They have Uber actually gave them $10,000. Also Beneficial here in Delran gave them $5,000 recently. Another Simon & Schuster, we had them meet with them, and hopefully they're going to do well with them also. And if anybody has any ideas to try to help promote Jake's Place, or you know businesses that may want to get involved, please let us know, let them know. We're all about trying to get that completed, and we're getting closer. So we're really happy how that's coming as well. And last but not least, it was mentioned about the STEM fair. There is a STEM fair. It's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It's run by it's actually a grant that the school received. They're having a fair. It's at the school on the 8th. And we are going to have our one-armed trash truck there, but it's all about new innovation and engineering. And I know the Delran and Green Team is going to be there as well. So if you're not doing anything, come out and check it out. I know the school loves to have the support. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. That's great. Okay, so at this point, I'd ask for a motion to go into public.
So moved.
Second.
In favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so the only thing we ask is that we have a conversation. I'd ask you to address myself, representing council, and that everybody is courteous and kind to their neighbors. I'd ask you to step forward, state your name and address for the record, and anyone have any questions or comments? Yes?
Can I come up now? Or you're good?
Sure, yeah, come right up. And you're speaking.
I'm back.
Hi, how are you?
Debbie Van Kuren, 90 Cooper Avenue. Mr. O'Connell thought things were better because I hadn't been here, so I thought I'd come back just to let you guys know that things are not better with the next quarter. I did have a conversation with Jeff in April. Still ongoing with the neighbors and the trash. I went through all of the ordinances to see which ones they could actually be maybe in violation of, and I don't know how strict these are, but some of the ones that I looked at were 208-3, sweeping litter into gutters, prohibited. 208-4, litter thrown by persons in vehicles. We've watched them throw trash out of their own car. There was a cup there the other day. They must have gone and got a drink and just left it on the sidewalk. 208-7, duties of owners and tenants to maintain premises free of litter. 208-10, notice to remove litter. And it says that they should get a police notice by registered mail, so I don't know if that's happened yet. I don't even know if that's something we can do. 208-11, that had to do with the penalties. 257-12B3, premises shall be maintained in a clean, safe, secure, and sanitary condition. Adversely affect the public health or safety. C says sidewalks free of litter. There's always litter, always. The other day, maybe yesterday or the day before, I pulled trash from their house out of my flower beds because the wind is blowing it. It's also blowing across the street. It's actually sometimes goes across Bridgeboro the other way. G has noxious weed, so I looked up to see what noxious meant. Poisonous, awful, unpleasant, nasty. I don't think they've ever bought a bag of weed and feed or fertilizer at all. And you're gonna find this kind of comical. Sunday night, I was actually ranting and raving in my house because they were mowing their lawn, because I was honestly planning on calling Monday morning to say, hey, they didn't mow their lawn. It took them 3 days. They started on Sunday. It's pretty comical. They're out there, they're yelling, they're screaming, they're cursing, which I did see, that was an ordinance, you're not supposed to do without language. They're out there yelling and screaming, cursing at each other, and they're throwing all kinds of things on the lawnmower to get it started. My husband and my son were just cracking up, because if they would just put the thing in the shed and not leave it out in the weather, it would probably start. But it's kind of lined up with all the other ones that stopped working. They just go out and buy new lawnmowers.
And not use it.
And they don't use them, no, and then they don't work because they leave them out in the weather. J, maintenance of existing landscaping. K, exterior premises. Their shed doors typically not closed. I think I brought to your attention before that I don't think that they've mowed their backyard in years. I was actually on the roof the other day trying to look into their backyard, but I can't see. But I know they haven't mowed in years, so I imagine it has to be 3 or 4 feet high. Last year, you asked them to drain their pool because we assumed that the swamp water was creating mosquitoes. There's actually a hose going from their backyard right now to Bridgeboro. I don't know what they're draining. I'm assuming it's the pool. But because their pool is drained and their backyard probably has 3 or 4 feet of grass, they don't put their dog back there. So they're violating 80-8F with a 6-foot leash, because they put the dog on a string by their front door, which I mentioned before. That dog now is able to go to the curb. I cannot walk my dog down the sidewalk because their dog is across. So, I keep searching. My next step, my daughter and I joked about buying a sign that we could put in our yard that says honk if you want the neighbors to clean up their yard, and count how many honks we could get. I thought of that. I could also start going to other townships' websites and seeing what ordinances they have that maybe we could incorporate. But I guess what I'm asking you is, can we make an ordinance? Can we propose that if you have litter in your yard, it's a fine, whether it's $100 or $200 or whatever, because that trash is in my yard, it's in the neighbor's yard, it's in the street, it stays there, they don't pick it up, it's disgusting. I just know that if I go down Bridgeboro and I throw a bag of trash out the window and the police officer sees me, I'm going to get a ticket. So why can they sit in their yard and leave their trash? Oh, and it took them 3 days to mow their lawns, but it's the worst job you've ever seen in your life. If you like those rows of high and low and high, it's quite comical actually to watch them mow. Because they do it like vacuuming. They go up and they come back. They go up and back, but they never completely do the yard. And if you even just drive down Bridgeboro, you will see along the curb, it's about 6 or 8 inches high, because they never take a weed whacker or get close enough to complete the job.
Okay.
So I know you guys have been really nice and listened to me when I come. It was nice when Jeff called, we have conversation, but what can we do moving forward?
So let's get council up to speed on where we are, because this is handled by the administrative side. So Jeff, help us with what we've done and what else we can do. Maybe we can ask the attorney as well.
The code official's been out there, and he did not, first of all, when he went out there, the front lawn was cut. This is a couple of weeks ago. Back lawn you can't see from outside the property. He does not have a right to enter into that property and look over the back lawn. That's one of the issues with respect to the back lawn.
Which is why I went on the roof to try to see.
Yeah, he really doesn't have a right to enter that back lawn to go into an area. One of the other things we could do is, some of them, you would have, some of the violations that she enumerated, you would have to see in order to be able to cite them for. If the trash is there, that's one thing, but if the trash came from that property where they threw it out and we didn't see it, or she didn't see it, if she wanted to make out a complaint, she can do that. But if we don't see that and it ends up somewhere else, there's no way we can say that's where it came from. So those would be difficult. But one of the other areas that we might be able to look into, again, is getting the County Board of Health out there to take a look. Like I said, the code official was out there. He did not feel that there was a violation. I've had a discussion. I think the property is sloppy, and there are things that are in the property, and that's why if for instance, if the trash can was out, you know, if you could give a call. I've asked Ted to take a look at the
The
property.
trash can was out yesterday. I think it was recycling was out by the front. It wasn't on the front step like last month, but it was on the front of the garage, just sitting there
That's not-
by the numerous cars. And
That's not a violation.
It's not?
Not have it, it was out in front of the garage door, that kind of thing.
I mean, I've asked them to go out there every 2 weeks, but I can contact the County Board of Health and see if that might address something as well. And I have told Ted I want him out there every 2 weeks to take a look at it, because I recognize that, you know, we've had this issue.
Sure. Are they on notice? Do they know that?
I doubt they know.
Are they being contacted? Do we have the right to contact them?
If there's a violation, absolutely.
So we haven't found an actual something we can.
According to Ted, he did not find a violation at the property.
Jeff, what about requesting to see the backyard of the owner? Because if they're not complying by
Well, I mean,
the law.
Council, they can just easily refuse, and then if they refuse, there's not much you can do.
I don't think they're smart enough to refuse.
Well,
I'm
that's what
not saying that to
thinking.
be funny. I'm serious. I think they'd be like, sure, come see.
Yeah, could we have the code officer just request it? I mean, if he gets turned down, he gets turned down. We don't want him to pursue it, but if they're
And we
limited.
can say we got a complaint, can we take a look at the backyard? Right.
But how about moving forward? Can we start in the process of making a new ordinance so we can get them on something?
Can we do the Board of Health?
Yeah, I can contact the Board of Health if we've got a specific complaint. I mean,
Who says since we don't have a violation, we can't?
no, if we knew there was an issue with the pool, which is, you know, we've addressed that in the past.
And they
but,
drained it. And
Yeah,
that's
we're not
probably why
aware
it
of
goes
a
to-
violation back there because they drained it. If we're aware of a violation, then we'll call in the County Board of Health, we could bring them in. If there's specifically a complaint concerning dog waste or something in the property, is there?
I haven't seen any. But how about 208-7, duties of owners and tenants to maintain premises free of litter?
I think you said at one point that you said you saw them throw trash out of the vehicle, so in that situation, if you're actually seeing it happen, you can contact the police to inform them that, hey, there's an ordinance violation, I saw him do this, and you can actually file a complaint against them.
But how about 208-7? How do you read that if it says that tenants have to maintain premises free of litter?
Well, I mean, that's when, it's a situation where the code enforcement officer is going to go out there, and it's his call ultimately.
So multiple Coke cans, Tasty Cake cans.
Well, let me just say,
Everything.
here's where you run into a tough situation too, and I'll be honest with you, I'd love to have that because there's times, recycle times, when it gets real windy,
Right.
and people's recycles just happen to blow, and it goes everywhere, and I'm out there picking up everybody's, and I don't really care.
I agree.
But at the same time, I'd love to see something, but at the same time, how do you stop, you know, with the recycles and blowing open and the stuff going over? So you would have to try to narrow it down, like they're saying. If you see it, probably call them and we can address it, but
Who would I call at the moment I see it? The police or?
the police, yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll ask you to file you can file a complaint, and you can go down and file a complaint.
I mean, this has been going on for years. I've only lived in the home 2 years. It was my mother-in-law's home. And for years and years and years, I've heard the whole neighborhood complaining. And I know the other home that I mentioned last month that I said rumor had it that people were living there not paying their rent. Well, they moved this weekend, so somebody else must have bought that property on the corner that was owned by the retired police officer, and they've already started cleaning it up. They're not gonna want the trash either. As soon as they start cleaning that up and making it a nicer property, they're gonna be here as
So
well.
have them at the same time, if you talk to them, have them reporting it too. If there's issues and they're not taking care of the property and they're throwing trash out, have them report it as well. It can't hurt having both of you doing it.
So I did make some notes of some of the numbers. Thank you for doing that research. And we'll see. My concern with starting to create new ordinances for specific people is that it often creates unintended consequences, and we get a little ahead of the game. And, you know, it just creates sometimes a bad situation. There are folks I know that in the room that would like us to just stay away from all of that, all of the things that might impede on somebody's rights. So I agree with you. What I think we'll do is we'll see if we can work within what's already on the books. If it comes to the point where we have to do something, this side is really the legislative side, so we'll work together with Jeff and the mayor and see what we can do with the existing ordinances. If we have to come up with a new ordinance, we'll have to talk about it and see if all the council has an appetite to do that.
Can I ask Jeff a question?
Sure.
If they don't mow their lawn and I call the office, will you send somebody out to mow and then charge them?
There's a process we have to go through. We have to notify them, give them so many days, and then do that, yes.
But even if we just keep giving them notice, it might just make them. And how about the pool being empty, and as long as it doesn't have swamp water in it, I guess it's okay by the Board of Health? All right, thank you.
Sorry.
I'll be back.
Thanks, Debbie.
No, I'm going to be back
No, that's
because,
fine.
I mean, it's disgusting. It can't be healthy. It's not good for the environment. I teach first grade. We teach children to pick up trash. This isn't what the earth is supposed to be about.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm watching all these homes in my street start to turn over, and the property values are going to start increasing. We have some folks that have passed away, their homes are sold, people are buying them and selling them. I told you that gentleman's building that ginormous house down the end of the street that's going to be worth hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. He does not want that home on the corner. As soon as you turn in, that's what you see. What does that do to our property values?
Sure. So it's good that we stay in communication. If your neighbors communicate that, makes it easier for us to do certain things. So,
Okay.
absolutely, you're there, and you can be our eyes and
So
ears.
as soon as I see them throw trash, I'm calling the police. And so the police, Delran police come out. Do I call 911 or do I call a non-emergency number?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to bother them. I don't want them to be annoyed with me.
Right.
That's 444.
Yeah, 460.
That number is best number, Jeff?
The non-emergency number.
Yeah, not as I
It's not an emergency.
Yeah, it's 461 is 44.
But then they will take me seriously and send somebody out.
We'll have the chief notified.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Debbie. Yes, sir.
Same situation that she's talking about.
Just state your name and address.
Bill Hinger, 23 Freck Avenue, speaking about the 15 or whatever it is. First of all, the house in front of me, I think that's 17, that's what's on the mailbox, right? The woman passed away about 6 months ago. So that needs to be cut. I mean, you know, I used to cut it, but I can't do that stuff no more. You know what I mean? For her. But there's nobody there now. So the same thing with the house that we've been discussing that's next to me. Now they come over, there's nothing gets done. They come over there, is there an ordinance about what times you can work?
There is.
Yeah, because like Friday we went somewhere, it's come back, it's about 4 o'clock, well they pull up. So they work till like about 7:30, 8 o'clock. They start framing out, I don't know if they've seen it or not. It looks like an addition to the back, a dormer type thing, right? Which, you know, that's what they're doing, right? So, I mean, out of the blue, they're going to do that, right? Then they come Saturday, they get there about 10, and they stay till 8 at night. Not a bad language, you know what I mean?
How late they're allowed to work?
No, it's still at least 7.
Weekdays.
In a residential area, this isn't a construction site.
No, there's a noise ordinance.
Huh?
There's a noise ordinance in the town.
Yeah, how about for bad mouths? Is there an ordinance for that too?
No, unfortunately,
Because
we'd like to have
we can
people
all,
not.
you know,
I'm
get
not
one
laughing,
real
I'm not
quick.
laughing at you. I understand what it must be like living next to.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm looking over there, there's 5 windows boarded up. Either put glass in them or cover them, and if you're going to stuck them, whatever you're going to do. I don't understand all that. I have to look at this?
I don't mean to interrupt you. This is an active construction site.
I don't know if you call it active, because they might work for 2 days and then they're not back for 3 weeks. So in between, Matter of fact, the last time they brought it up.
They have permits.
They have
They have
permits.
permits to renovate the
And
house.
they're allowed,
Correct.
and I think in a
How
construction
could you
site.
give somebody a permit to work like that?
Well,
And
we don't
who
give
are
them-
they? Are they gonna live there, or are
I
they?
don't know.
Not our business.
They're just out of the blue, and we're making life in Delaware miserable for me, who does all kind of work for everything, right? Improve things. These guys just come and shit everything up,
Well, but
and that's fine.
I'd ask you to just be careful with your language.
Yeah.
Meeting.
So
So,
guess what?
so I understand your frustration.
It's terrible there
Uh,
now.
So the,
Put a lot of money in that place, improved everything, and guess what? Now, how about like the young lady said about property value? Do we get a break on our taxes for that? Because my property, if somebody came there, if I came there to buy that house, my house, and seen that, I'd walk right out. I say, this is what I'm gonna live next to? You gotta be crazy.
so it may be a long-term temporary, but it appears to be a temporary situation. I don't know that you can appeal.
It
the
ain't,
taxes.
the back of that house has been like that for 3 years. There's junk in the front,
is there-
branches, bolts, everything.
As long as they are actively working, I know that I had a question many years ago about this. Is there a limit to how long that permit?
It's roughly 3, but this isn't an old permit. This is a fairly new
So
permit.
they have a relatively good permit.
This, I mean, I think.
How about the
these
exposed
people
wood?
Purchased the property and are starting to
So
renovate.
someone recently purchased the property and, I don't know what contractors they hire.
Right, well then,
They're
what
doing it
what is the
themselves.
next move? Is there a next move, or do I have to look at that for the rest of my life? Or do I go get a lawyer and maybe sue whoever I gotta sue? I ain't operating like this.
Right.
Not after all the work
I don't know, what are the remedies available?
Just so you know, they did get a dumpster and they put the
Yeah, and
trash in the dumpster.
guess what? Who cleaned it up? They threw the hot tub that they had laying there for 3 years in there, and they threw the wood that they ripped down that was on my property in their hand,
Right.
The rest of it, I got my buddy to go over there to rake it, right, and we threw it in the dumpster. And then I took my power mower and cut all the junk, the leaves and all up that they just left there. They're not doing that. Then they come over there, the last time they're there, the window in the top, what they do, they throw the stuff out the window, right? They busted the window, right? Now you got wood on the roof there. You know how long that window will stay broke like that? Until, whenever. I mean, you gotta get somebody that's, when Hugh was here, or whoever, every move I made, he was there. He was, now this has gotta be clean, you can't leave up steps like that because somebody can come on and fall.
Right.
What's going on now?
So,
We either need more people, or somebody's gonna open their mouth. Well, maybe this guy Ted don't wanna talk. Or he's scared of him or something, I don't know what it
that's
is.
the case, but, just.
Because what they're doing, they're making a jerk out of Delran, is what they're doing. They're making a jerk out of Delran and me, because I gotta look at it.
Right, I understand, sir.
You know, it's bad.
I've just asked Jeff if he would ask Ted to step it up. And-
I asked Ted to step it, I'm doing what I can do. What are you doing? You're not doing nothing.
Right, I understand.
Zero. It's like a joke.
I understand.
I don't know what we gotta do, but we're gonna do something. Because I'm not gonna look at that all summer, and then mosquitoes all over the place from the stuff, the leaves and all. How many times can I pick up the leaves? I shouldn't have to do that. Same with the one in the front. They never raked their leaves. After the woman died, they never did nothing. I'm stuck with all this stuff now.
We'll have, take a look at 17 as well, 17, right? See if there's violations that we can address.
Well, the grass is already high, so I don't wanna say, let's look at it and then talk about it and then play around and then it's July 4th and the grass, and then, you know what I mean?
Well, we do have a process.
Yeah.
And the worst thing you can do is cut someone else's lawn.
Right,
Because
right.
If you do that, then the process is started.
Right,
So
right.
let us get through the
Yeah,
process.
they don't, I don't wanna do that, why should I have to do all that?
Absolutely, you should, and you probably shouldn't go on that property. So-
Right.
So,
Well, Rossi's selling it now, so I spoke to her and she said are they
I
gonna do
understand.
it or not?
Nothing ever goes.
Do you think I should come down and sign a complaint against them right away, or not?
I don't know, does he have,
To get the process moving before the sun
Then
rises.
if there's a violation.
if there's violations about the grass, you mean?
That one, yeah, the grass and the leaves that are this high in the back knocking the fence over, which makes another thing look like,
Right, so, you know, I would say your best bet would be to come down and at least put it on record,
right.
and then that'll, if nothing
Get the
else.
process. Well, I tried doing this for what, how many months now?
You've been-
Figuring I don't want to get to this point where it's hot, and now you want to sit out there and you can't sit out.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so stop out, which office would you go to? Ted's office? Construction
It
office?
depends on what the violation is. I mean,
Right.
some of the things that he's got concerns with aren't violations of our ordinances, so it depends on the issues. I mean, an active construction code or an action site to have boarded windows, that's the requirement. That's not something that's in violation, so those things aren't going to change. It's an active construction site.
How about the
It's got
4 other
violations.
houses on the street that have boarded up windows?
Again, if it's a vacant
What
house,
what are they
a
trying to
boarded
do,
up
make the
window
value of
is
the houses
okay.
go down to nothing on that street? Is that what the idea is?
A boarded window is what you're supposed to
It's
do
what
with a
you want.
vacant house. It's not a violation of our ordinances, period. So you can't take that and write a
Well,
complaint.
then that, whoever wrote that up, well, I don't know where they're coming from.
It's to keep the property from being,
From what? From
from
getting
somebody
worse?
going into it, correct?
Do you know what water does to boarded up things? Like that big addition they put on the back there? If it stays like that for a month and a half and the rain keeps flying, what's it gonna do? It's gonna warp the whole thing. You know what I mean? Somebody's gotta get on top of that to get the job done, like you would do. And any other building inspector I've done with my
You
life.
can't make them work faster, Mr. Hayner. They have a time frame that permit's good for, and as long as they're within that time frame, they're fine.
3 years?
3 years.
In other words, I can come over here tomorrow and get a permit for 3 years and just do nothing for 2.5 years. Just jazz everything up on the property. And everybody's gonna be hunky-dory with that? Yes? That's a tremendous ordinance we have.
How old is that?
So it's not just, so you know, boarding up properties, that's throughout the whole country. That's the requirement, is that you board up a house. The only thing that's changed is some towns are moving to clear boarding. That's it. Because I've looked this up. Clear boarding is something somewhere we're going to. It looks like there's a window there. But otherwise, if it's a vacant property, it's supposed to be boarded. That's nationwide. That's not new. That's not anything that
How about
other
the
towns
paint?
do. And that's what goes on with vacant houses.
There's nothing about painting. It's been 2 different colors for the last 3 years.
Again, they just started this project, so you can't hold them for 3 years ago.
You know,
They're renovating the
they're
property.
renovating for the last 6 years.
Well, now he just said the permit's fairly new.
Have they been
Well, that's
renovating,
new people that
Mr.
bought
Hayner?
it.
Because I'm
People
interested,
were
have they
before
been
that.
renovating for the last 6 years?
Huh?
Have they been renovating, has that group been renovating for the last 6 years?
I don't know if that group has, but it's been under renovation since I've been there. I don't go over there and clean things like that.
He's asking a very important
I'm
question.
asking you a question, is the group that you're seeing over there?
I don't know who the group is. I don't even know who they are.
It's always
You guys
asking,
know?
what he's asking is,
Do you guys know who's over there? And
We
where they're
don't,
from?
we don't know who's in any house, that's not something we're supposed to know. We don't
I'm
know who
supposed
has
to
a
go
permit.
checking on who's working all over the
no,
place?
No, you're
What-
making a complaint
I don't
saying
think so.
something about 6 years ago. We're saying that, we don't know that that's the same group, that's not.
I don't
something
know
we
either,
do.
because I don't know. They come and go, these people. It's like they're there one day, then they're not there for 4 weeks.
We have no ordinance against that controls people's comings and goings. That's not what we do here. That's not something we do.
Well, basically, what do you do?
You
Sell
get
permits and get the money? That's
Permits
what it
and then
sounds
they'll
like.
inspect it. They'll issue a permit
And nothing
and
gets
then they'll
done.
inspect it.
That's where you're at. Okay.
let me just say something.
Okay,
No, you don't need to.
that's what you want to do.
Thank you.
That's what you're doing. You ain't.
Sir, thank you. Anyone else have questions this evening? Yes.
Linda Gilbert, 75 Stewart Avenue. I don't know if you saw it on Facebook, but I was going to bring it up before it hit Facebook. Can we do something with these kids on bicycles, doing wheelies
Kids
down
on
the road?
bicycles.
Yes. I'm talking 4 or 5 kids, 5 to 10 kids. If I went down 3rd Street one day, and they are like across the whole road, and they're popping wheelies, they're coming at you, and popping wheelies in the middle of the road. They're down on Brown, they're down on Chester, they're down on 3rd, they're all over town. and it was on Facebook, you can go down my page, and they're popping wheelies in front of the cars. They're gonna get hit, they're gonna cause an accident, somebody's gonna get hurt. I did speak to a police officer, I will not mention names, they know about it. They even know the kid that is the ringleader of all this. Something needs to be done.
Do we have an ordinance against?
They're not wearing helmets for one.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the issue. I think she just answered. The way would be to contact the police. Right. But my question is, what did the officer say when he?
Do you really want to know?
No.
I'm not going to say what he said. He's the one who said that they could enforce the helmet law. So, and they know about the kids.
Right.
He knew the kid's name.
Right.
I mean, they are just like.
So just like anything else, when you see it, pick up the phone, report it.
Okay.
And the police will be on notice that they know what's happening apparently.
Right.
And they'll go out if they catch them without helmets. I don't know that, there's no ordinance as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, but don't they have to take,
Popping a wheel.
I know about popping wheelies, but when when you got 4 or 5 kids across the whole road, and you're driving in your car, you have nowhere to go.
Right.
There are rules that they are supposed to follow,
Right.
traffic flow.
And I would say that's a question for the police. I mean, I couldn't answer. It's a good question, but I'm going to tell you, I would think that if they're obstructing traffic.
They think it's
or if
funny.
I would think there's something that we could do.
Right.
I don't know, but the police would
But
probably
they will
have
laugh
an-
at you, they
I
think
know.
this is
Oh, I
funny.
know.
And it's not funny. There we go, they get hit. I heard the one kid fell on the bike. There is a picture of one of the kids on Facebook doing his wheelie. It's not the fact they're really doing the wheelies, but they're across the whole road.
Right.
If I didn't stop the other day, I would have ran one over. I had no place to go.
Right. No, I got you.
So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. The police don't, they're not wearing helmets. Something needs to be done before somebody either, they
And
cause an
this is-
accident or they get hit.
So this is primarily on what streets that you've seen?
I've seen them on 3rd, I've seen them on Brown,
They
Third
could be
Chester.
anywhere. Yeah.
They've been anywhere.
So-
I mean, according to Facebook, they've been on 130. I don't know, I haven't seen them on
Even on
130.
Hartford, I mean,
They're all over. I mean,
So
you know.
it's just a kid thing.
Right,
They have to be
okay.
reported, police get there before they're gone.
But, yeah, they keep on going. I mean, like I said, the police officer even knows the kid's name, so, okay? Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Gary White. My address is 289 Old Tote Road in Mountainside. I want to thank you for this opportunity. I waited to hopefully no other residents were talking because I'm not a resident and I wanted to give them the opportunity that they deserve. I'm here because I want to talk to you a few minutes about a disease called fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva. And we won't say those 3 words again, we'll just use the initials FOP. And back in 2001, I was working as a volunteer at Children's Specialized Hospital, and a friend of mine from town was also a trustee with me. And she disappeared for a short period of time. And when she surfaced, she said to me that her 9-year-old daughter had just been diagnosed with FOP. And the diagnosis was done in the only place in the United States, the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. What happened with her daughter was that a muscle in her neck, she had a burning sensation in her neck, and the muscle over time turned to bone. It ossifies and completely turns to bone, and then it grows. And it grew down from her neck all the way down and it fused with her head. And then over time another bone grew down and it locked her elbow in place. And another bone grew and locked her leg in place. She's now 24 years old. She can never sit again. She's locked into a specially designed wheelchair. In 2001, the mother had what they called a friend raiser. And Dr. Kaplan from the University of Pennsylvania came. I was so impressed in listening to Dr. Kaplan that I said to my friend that this would be my mission to help spread awareness and research for this disease. After 15 years of research, UPenn found the gene in the body. And that was on April 23rd in 2006. And right now, I have 2 bills in Trenton that should be coming up when they come in session this month. There's a SJR 98, and there's a AJR 147, and both bills are calling for the permanent designation and recognition of April 23rd as FOP Awareness Day in the state of New Jersey. About 9 senators and about 11 assembly people have already signed on to the bills, and that's even before the bills are posted. So, but in 2002, my son, who was 9 years old and friends with this girl, him and I sat down and we sent a letter to all 566 mayors in New Jersey. And we told them about FOP, and we wanted to stress awareness and asked each mayor, each council, each town, if they would consider a resolution or a proclamation, whichever they did from their municipality. And the resolution or proclamation would urge continued research into FOP and continued awareness about FOP. In New Jersey, there are only 9, well, I shouldn't say only, there are 9 people with FOP in the state. In the United States, it's 220. Those are small numbers, and FOP is classed by NORD, which is the National Organization of Rare Diseases, as an orphan disease. After they found the gene on April 23rd in 2006, a few years later, they actually gave a mouse model FOP. And now they are in phase 2 clinical trials for a potential drug treatment. There's so much hope right up, and kids are lined up doing phase 2 clinical trials. I think there's rumors that they may go into phase 3. It's a drug that's stopping the disease, because when they start to grow bones, and essentially, what I failed to say earlier was essentially they are growing a second skeleton in their body. That's from their muscles, their tendons, and their ligaments turn to bone. So on December 21st, 2016, out of the 566 mayors we wrote to in 2002, in 2016, on December 21st, we received a resolution from a town in Mercer County, and it was the 495th proclamation or resolution we received today. On May 15th, 2015, I was contacted by the New Jersey Historical Society, and they heard about this. This is one of 2 books that I brought tonight. This book is Atlantic County through Monmouth County. But the New Jersey Historical Society heard about this initiative. They said there's never been one like it in New Jersey. And they asked that when I'm finished this awareness campaign, that I turn the books over to them to be included in their archives and collection. So I was very happy about that. They came to my fundraiser in 2015 and made that announcement. So I'm here. I know you guys have a lot on your plate, and sometimes what I found out over doing this for 16 years is that there are towns that don't go outside their scope. And so I purposely get in my vehicle and drive and make a personal pitch when I don't hear from the administration. So if you look right here, there's a little sticky note, and that's on a blank sheet that has Del Brown's name.
I was going to say, let me guess.
Okay. Unfortunately, and I don't know why, but Burlington County has, I think you have 40 municipalities in Burlington County.
That's correct.
We have a proclamation or resolution from 25 towns already, and 15 I haven't heard from. Delran being one of the 15. The next highest county is Warren County with 13. The rest are all single digits. We only have 74 more municipalities to reach, and I'm hoping it doesn't take another 16 years because I don't know if I have it in me. But that's my pitch, and I just
so you're looking just for us to provide a resolution or a proclamation?
Yes, sir.
Acknowledging the existence of this disease, and do you have a sample of that?
I could send you one.
That would be great. I don't see any reason why we couldn't at least do that.
Yeah, it's a ceremony.
Again, we're unlike some towns where the mayor and council are the same body. There's a little bit of a disconnect. Not, there's no problem. just, it's two different, one is administrative, one is legislative. So send it to Jeff or to myself or to the mayor, and we'll get it. I mean, we can do that in the course of what we do, and do at least a resolution or proclamation, whichever.
That's fantastic.
I don't know, I'm not speaking for council. Council's
No.
a body of 5. So, unless people have objections, send it to us. We'll discuss it at the next work session.
Can't ask for more than that.
I appreciate you coming down from Mountainside,
Mountainside.
which is just a hop, skip, and a jump from here.
It was an hour and a half.
Okay. Well, God bless you for bringing this
Well, thank
to
you.
people's
Thank you
attention.
very much.
Thanks, Gary.
All right, thank you.
Great name. Anyone else have any questions?
Yeah, inclusion.
You have to come back up, sir.
Okay, let me get back up there.
I'm going to ask you, please,
Yeah, I had to do it.
be aware that we have,
Bathroom real quick.
I understand we have
Now, so
children
what
in the room, so
did
please.
we come up with? Anything? Was there an answer that I can put in my mind? We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that?
Can I just say one thing? What we were trying to do is really help you, okay? And here's the reason why. Just listen to what we have to say.
Right.
The reason why I believe the administrator was asking you about whether or not it was the same people with the...
I don't know.
Let me finish. The reason why is because we wanted to make sure that the permit process of 3 years is being abided by. If that person's been there longer, we can look into that. So
Right.
that's why we were asking you, just to see maybe you knew by being there whether it was the same people. That was all we were saying.
Here's what goes on there, like I told you. If they're there most 3 days for it. Even when the other people were there, right, it was the same situation. Then all of a sudden they disappear. Now, I don't know who they are or what they're doing.
Okay.
I mean, I can't go, if I start asking them, then I got.
No, we're not asking you to. Don't even get involved. I wouldn't even get
No,
involved.
I can't even get involved with it. But it's very hard on me because here I am, I'm fixing my place up every day, working out there, doing this, doing that, trying to open the pool, trying to do this. And I gotta look at this all the time. I mean, last year was bad enough, and the year before, figuring, well, but where does it all end?
Mr. Hanna, let's have a conversation. So, are there people living in this house?
No.
No. Okay, so it is.
There hasn't been people there in about 7, 8 years, I bet.
So,
It was Siaka's old house.
okay.
Now, whatever happened, they left. People were fixing it on and off. Then they just disappear. But there's got to be an end to it somewhere. I mean, it can't just go on like it is all the time. For everybody, for any.
Absolutely.
Who wants to look at that? And who wants that? That's environmental stuff. I mean, it's.
So anything that we can find that's against the law, we will pursue.
Right.
If it's not against the law, an active construction site is a relative term. Active means that they work on it periodically. There was a home in my neighborhood that was
They can just come there
6 years.
whenever they feel like it.
They worked on it, the permit ran out, they got a new permit, and they continue to work. There's progress, but it's slow.
Well, that's neither here nor there. There's no
Well,
real progress. It's getting worse.
Well,
They're
whatever
making
they're
it
doing,
work.
if they're doing something, that's considered progress.
Yeah, they're messing the whole neighborhood up is what they're doing.
Understand?
Jeff, we may have to look at it.
If
The
you come and look
administration,
at that, you
it's
get
a
sick to your
construction
stomach.
site.
If
I
you
mean-
sat in my yard.
How many times have we contacted these people to tell them that, they did construction, they threw stuff all over the place, and now they need
I mean,
it?
they cleaned it up, Mike.
Yeah, but
They
it's
got a
already-
dumpster, they cleaned up everything that he requested
Yeah.
was cleaned up.
I understand that, but how
There's
many
additional
times have we
things
had
being
to
asked
do
it
that?
now. What's it?
How many times have we had to do that, chase them around to get a dumpster?
Once.
Three of them that I know of in the last 3 months, 4 months.
They had a dumpster there at least 2 times in the last 3 months. Cleaning, but they don't clean.
So I guess
Should
what Dave
I
is,
call you every time they say they're clean and then somebody wanna come over the next day and say, yeah, it's clean? Because what I do, I can't.
Mr. Hager, you ask questions and you don't listen to, you don't want an answer. Last time you came here, you told me they never delivered a dumpster, when I know they did deliver a
They
dumpster.
didn't, until that day. Till, on a Friday, they brought the dumpster, right? After 2 weeks of calling you and asking you. Is the dumpster coming? Yeah. Well, they tell you the same thing, they're jerking you around too. But whatever. That's where I say somebody's gotta put their foot down on these people. or this could go on and on forever and wreck the whole neighborhood. The neighborhood already has bad element, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, I'm trying to fix things up, is what I'm trying to do. But I'll be darned if I'm gonna fix things up and somebody's gonna junk it all up and I'm gonna be happy.
Again,
I gotta do
there's
something.
someone who's in there who got a permit to fix that property.
Right.
And it's going to take time to fix that property, and when you do a construction site, usually you're inconvenienced while that construction's going on. We do not, just let me finish one time.
Go ahead.
We do not control that they have to be there for 3 straight months or anything like, we can't do that.
Well, that's
We do
what
not
you
have
should
that
have to
authority, and
say.
that's what you want, and we can't do that.
Because anybody could buy anything and say, I'll fix it when I feel like it, and everybody in the
And
area.
they could be working other jobs and they're working in their, but they have a right to do that as long as they have that permit that allows them to work.
Well, then
on it.
that permit shouldn't be issued that way. That should be issued, you know, you have so long to get this done, this done, this done. It's not like you're building a house out in Timbuktu. This is right in the middle of a residential neighborhood.
It's just
The
not,
whole
it's just
neighborhood
not,
suffers.
it's just not the way those permits are issued. I don't know,
Every other place they are.
well.
I've never worked on a job where they said, oh, well, when are you gonna finish? What's going on? How come this is there? How come that's there? How come it's dirty all the time?
I hear what
So
you're saying.
we gotta step it up some ways.
I think we're doing that.
Let's hope so,
I'm
because.
gonna tell you, we're gonna, I was talking to the administrator, and we're gonna look into a little bit more on the history on the house. And we'll look and see what we can find out as far as the past and the permits and.
Who the people
And
are.
we'll look into as much as we can, and we'll be able to get involved with as much as we can.
Right.
But understand, there's also the rights that they have, so we gotta be careful what we do.
Right.
We'll look into it a little further.
Can I say one thing, Bill? Before I issue if I was issuing permits from now on, I'd know who I'm issuing to.
Well,
You
Just
can't
don't issue-
control who a construction person is that you're giving a permit to. What do you think, you can pick and choose who you want to do
There's
that
a lot
job?
of ways
You can't.
around all that, believe me. I did this for 50 years. 50 years I did this work. There's a lot of ways around it.
Okay.
But let's try to get something.
I just told you, we'll look into the history of it and see what's been going on. in the
Okay,
past.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Anyone else have any questions? The chickens, perhaps? Just kidding. Seeing no hands, I'll ask for a motion to come out of public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're back in our regular meeting. I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.